Hello, my loves. Welcome to another video. So today's video is going to be kind of more of a little update, a little wrap up of what's been going on within the last month, just kind of how the month of, geez, pretty much like we're almost done with the month of May, how the month of April was going. The month of May has been kind of a whirlwind for me. It's been a good month, but it's also just been a little bit crazy. So I think that's what we're going to do today, just do some updates. And yeah, so let's kind of get into that. So if that sounds good to you, I also think we'll talk a little bit of books too. So if that sounds good to you, grab your drink. I have my Ghostie water container. I only have like a little bit of water, probably have like maybe that much left from yesterday. But I do have my water. So grab your drinks, get a snack, get cozy, and let's get into today's video. So overall, let's do some updates before we talk books. The month of April was a little bit anticlimactic. I feel like not too much went on. It wasn't super exciting. I feel like April was a blur. Honestly, I feel like the majority of this year has been a blur. There's just kind of been, you know, some things, unexpected things that have popped up. Just, you know, typical, like, you're an adult, you're reminded that you're an adult and you have adult things to take care of in life. And that's just kind of like what happened in April. Then we slid into May, and May was when we actually started to take care of some of the adulting things. So this month we decided to have our house painted. Pretty much everything in the house except, thank God, the bedrooms. You know, my bedroom has already been painted. It was painted like over a year ago. So I didn't have to worry about the bedrooms except for our master bed, but everything else was getting repainted. We just got tired of seeing the same paint over and over again on the walls. It wasn't even paint that we chose. It was paint that was already in the house when we bought the house. And we just didn't have the finances at the time when we bought our house to do the whole repainting then, which would have been so much easier if we would have done it then. So, you know, here we are like 5 to 6 years later repainting our home. The end result is I'm in love with it. I love it. It was definitely worth the chaos that came with having our house painted. It feels more like us. It feels more like our own home. But the process was a little challenging because we have 2 cats. And one of my cats is a scaredy cat. The other one is a very social cat. So they have 2 different personalities. So it was really hard to keep them locked up in the bedroom all day. I felt so bad for them, but you know, we try to make it as comfortable for them as possible, but who wants to be locked up in a little bedroom all day long, you know? So it was a little bit challenging with that. And then the other challenge is if you've ever had your interior house painted, you have to take out everything. Like, you move furniture to the center of the space. So, you know, we had to move some stuff. We pretty much like had a storage space going in one of the spare bedrooms and moving all the furniture, and then, you know, obviously having home base in our guest room where we have a spare bed, thank God. So that was kind of where my husband, me, and the cats lived for a few days. Where we slept for a few days. And, you know, just the whole process of getting it painted. The painters were very kind, but on day 3, so day 1 and 2, we had 2 painters here working on the house. And then day 3, the painter came solo, and I guess his buddy ditched his job for another job that paid more. I don't know. At least that's what we're assuming. So he was solo for the rest of the week, and I don't know if he was planning for that or what, but it was more work on him, and it delayed the painting process by, I would say, at least 2 days. We were out of a kitchen, we were out of a living room, we had the TV in our bedroom, the cats were stuck in a room, you know, like it was it affected, it's a domino effect, you know. And then on top of that, I didn't want to have painters at the house on the weekends because my husband works weekends and he works graveyards. So he's sleeping during the day when, you know, when all this is going on. So we kind of like timed it to where my husband really only had to deal with painters in the house while he was trying to sleep twice. But my husband sleeps like the dead, literally. So he could sleep through anything pretty much. So he was able to get his sleep for the most part, but it, you know, even that was a little bit hard on him too. I could tell he was tired. And then of course there's the anxiety that comes with seeing your whole house packed up and it looks a mess. There's tape, there's paper, there's just stuff everywhere, the painter stuff, and the house smells like paint. Even though the paint smell isn't that bad, my husband and I actually really like the smell of paint. But it's just chaos. The house is dirty. You just feel it's just anxious. The anxiety set in and the overstimulation set in pretty quick for me. It was probably by day 3. I was in tears because I was just over it. But anyways, long story short, the painting process was done. I was documenting it in my planner of like day 1, day 2, you know what I mean? So painting day number 8. So it took the painter 8 days to finish the job, and I think it was pretty much, he anticipated 6 days, but I think because he was literally by himself, it delayed him 2 days. So it wasn't too bad, but at the same time, there's also a weekend in the middle of that 8-day stretch. So it felt a little bit longer. And yeah, but I'm glad the job is done. Everything looks good. The house looks brighter. My master bedroom is, we picked like a light gray for the walls, which is very calming. And then the master bathroom, so you walk into the master bathroom, it is actually a very soft and light green, and it is so calming and is so zen. I love it. When the sun rises, it hits the windows and it's just this beautiful glow. It is the most magical thing. So I do have my favorite color, and it's very soft light green. And then I have a toilet room. So some bathrooms, like the toilet is in another room. So I do have there's like a door, and it's a tiny little room where it's just the toilet. So I call it my toilet room. I did opt to have that painted a darker green. So it's probably like more of a sage green, like my shirt. And I am going to be making it more of an under the sea creature from the Black Lagoon room, because I was inspired by a picture I saw on Instagram. Someone else did something similar to their bathroom, and I thought it was so cute. So we went antiquing yesterday. We went to an antique shop, and we actually came across an antique movie flyer from Creature of the Black Lagoon, and it's a legit poster from the 50s. So Hubs bought it for me. It's already framed and ready to go, and I told him this was perfect because for my bathroom, the toilet room, I want to put Creature of the Black Lagoon memorabilia plus like fish. I have a lot of mermaid stuff because I loved mermaids when I was little, and I just have all this stuff that I saved and I can't bring myself to throw it away. So I want to put it all on the walls, and that's my plan. So here's going to be one of the first pictures that's going to go up in the toilet room, and it is the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and it is so perfect. I also have a Creature little stuffed animal that I keep in my office, but he's gonna go into the bathroom. And then I have fish, I have mermaids, I have a whale, I have a lot of undersea stuff. So really excited to take my time to, you know, do my toilet room. I pretty much want to feel like I'm underwater, submerged in the depths of the sea while I'm sitting on the toilet. So that is the plan for the bathroom. And then when you go into the rest of the house, we also painted the guest bathroom. So we do have like a guest bathroom in the hallway. And that bathroom, my husband went with the same gray that we did the bedroom. And then in the hallway, the living room, the kitchen, and the laundry room, it's all gonna be, it was all one color. I just decided, let's just do one color for that, and we went with Studio Clay. And it is a very soft, neutral, light tan, kind of looks like oatmeal, kind of looks like, it looks like clay, like the molding clay that you play with. It has like a tint of brown and a little tint of a creamy white, and it's just it's a beautiful color. So I went with that for the rest of the house, and it really lightens up the house because the way my house is positioned, all of the windows are in the bedrooms in the front, and then the living space and stuff is towards the back end of the house. So all of the main windows face the backyard. And in the house, the way the sun is, because my house faces south, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, right? I think. So it rises, it kind of goes like in an arc over the house, but it doesn't hit the windows that hit the living room. So kind of cool, because in the summer, the living room does kind of stay a little bit cooler. Plus we have a patio, so there's a lot of shade. But the downside is the lighting, the natural lighting in our house was really bad because the previous owners had darker colors in the living space, and it just made it too murky, too dark for my taste. I do like natural lighting. I do like to open my windows and whatnot. And with the patio, once we had the patio built, it just really took away from the natural lighting that came into the windows. So this color that we picked really brightens everything up, and it's just really nice, and I love it. So that is, in a nutshell, what we went through in the month of May. I also went to the doctor's. So I made a doctor appointment. That was one of my goals for this year, was to have my physical done and get updated blood work done and just go to the doctor. I decided to go with a different doctor because the one that I have been seeing for the last 2 years, I don't really care for him. He's one of those old-fashioned doctors, which nothing wrong with that. Sometimes they're really good, but he's not up to date with the modern medicine kind of stuff, specifically the GLP-1s, the weight loss medicines. And since that's my world right now, I really wanted a doctor that's going to be a little bit more proactive about it, because he's not as proactive about it. We'll just put it that way. So I was searching for another doctor. I have an appointment set later in the year for one that I really wanted to see, this that works up here in the desert. But she's booked out till July. So to me, that says people really enjoy her. So that's a good thing. She's a female doctor, another plus for me. And she's very proactive with feminine, all the female stuff. So I need that. So I have a pap smear scheduled with her in July. And then it's also another, just like labs and all that stuff. But until then, I wanted to see a doctor ASAP because I'm up for a refill for my GLP-1s with the telehealth that I'm with. And I don't know if I'm going to continue with the telehealth because there's all this uncertainty about the whole compound medicine and all of that. And so I wanted to see a legit, not a real doctor, but like a legit, you know what I mean? Like I want to see a doctor in person. Let's do my labs, do my physical, and let's talk getting on the name brand medication versus the compound. And will the insurance cover it and all of that? So long story short, went to the doctor last week. She was amazing. She's a young, probably fresh in her practice. Very up to date. She was very proactive, very supportive of the whole GLP-1 thing. She wrote me a prescription. Of course, my insurance needs to see proof of this and that. So there's like this back and forth that's going on right now with the doctor and the insurance. So I'm like in limbo right now, waiting to see if I'm going to get this medication covered or not. While I'm waiting for that, I have an appointment coming up on Monday for my refill with the telehealth. So I'm kind of like, do I wait and do I pay for another refill? And what if I get this medicine covered and then it's like I only pay like 25 bucks for the medicine versus like the amount that I'm paying for this telehealth? You know, it's just kind of like, it's, for me, it's more of money saving some money, because it is a lot of money that I have been putting toward, well, that my husband has been putting towards this medicine, and it's working. It's working. It's helping. I've seen lots of plus positive, amazing things out of this. I don't want to stop it. I'm so close to a goal that I don't want to stop. So I'm just kind of in the limbo right now with that whole process, and I'm just crossing my fingers that sooner rather than later I get an answer. So there's that. Other updates, weight loss updates, still on the weight loss journey, still going strong. I am down, as of today, let me see. As of today, I am down 48 pounds. So I don't remember where I was the last video where I talked about my updates for my weight loss. But as of today, I'm down 48 pounds. I am so close. I'm 2 pounds away from hitting the 50-pound mile marker. I am so close, and I'm so excited, and I'm very proud of myself. The journey it's felt almost effortless, I'll be honest. I have seen my eating habits change for the better. Like yesterday, Hubs and I went out. We spent the whole day out. We enjoyed food. But even though I was enjoying food, I'm still in the habit of making better choices. So for breakfast, I started off with a healthy breakfast at home. I had 1 egg over hard with a side of strawberries and an iced coffee. And then for lunch, we went to a Taco Man that we love. We went to the Taco Man, and I had 1 low carb surf and turf taco. So the surf and turf is like steak and shrimp, and it's low carb, so it's in a romaine leaf rather than tortilla, and I get it no sauce. I put a little bit of the green salsa, but I don't get any of the chipotle sauce, none of the other sauces, the guac, none of that stuff that they add onto it. And then I got 1 chicken taco, just the little street taco, but I only eat the meat because I need the protein. I don't eat the tortilla. So that was my lunch. It was a healthy lunch. And then I had a diet soda. And then for dinner, we went to Islands, and I had a chicken sandwich. I only ate half the sandwich because I kind of psyched myself out with the chicken. I thought it was undercooked, but it was just the weird lighting in the restaurant. But once I my brain believed that the chicken was undercooked, I just couldn't eat the rest of it. So I only ate half of the sandwich, and then I munched on some of the French fries, and I literally had to push the basket of fries away from me because I was like, I'm gonna just keep eating these, and I can't do that. So and then I had a water with that meal. So I feel like for the most part, I ate pretty good. I did have a couple little sweet treats here and there, but you know, it's in moderation, right? I'm not eating a whole bag of candy like I used to. Like I'll have little pieces of chocolate here and there. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a fun outing. So I'm noticing my habits. I have really good eating habits, better eating habits, I should say. And I just don't want to stop the medicine right now. Like it's helping, and I really just want to hit that first goal. I have a little bit, I don't have a long ways to go for my first goal, but you know, I still have a few more pounds to lose to hit that goal. We're almost there, but you know, I'm too close to say, oh, I can't be on this medicine anymore because my insurance won't cover it. Like that's just not going to happen, you know. For me, it's more of, if I'm going to keep with this medication, I deserve to see if my insurance will cover it. Like it covers for other people. Why not me, you know? So, and then also from the doctor's office, they took blood from me, which I always have to they always end up taking blood from my hand because I have really low, I have like as if you're going to be able to see it, but my veins are really low. Like they're real deep into my skin. And I always joke and tell the nurse, oh, it's probably because, you know, I'm a plus size girl or whatever. She literally told me it has nothing to do with that. She goes, It's just your veins are smaller, they're lower set, they're just harder to get to. So she made me feel better about that. But I've always had that problem with when I need to get blood drawn. The nurses can never find my blood. They can never find my vein. And I try to stay as hydrated as I can. And it still doesn't help. It's just my veins are just, I feel like I'm an alien. Like they're just not visible. So it makes it really hard. And obviously on the hands, my veins are way more visible and it's just easier for them. So they poked me and I have a beautiful bruise because of it, but whatever, as long as they got the job done, right? So that is why I have a bruise on my hand. Let's talk books because, sorry, I keep touching my hair. I did cut my own hair. I cut my own hair, you guys. I don't have the desire to go get my hair done because it's so expensive, and then also I just don't. Getting my hair cut is just one of those things I've never been good at maintaining for myself, but I do cut my own hair. So, let me just grab the stack. Okay. So when it comes to summer TBR, I obviously want ocean horror, under the sea horror. I was also going for a couple love stories, some romance, and I also wanted one or two like murder slasher books. That's kind of what I'm looking for. Obviously the stack can change. It could, change depending on, my taste and whatnot, but this is a rough idea of what I'm going to be reading for the summer. So for the next few months. I am currently reading Something in the Water by Catherine Stedman. I was at Barnes & Noble and they had a whole table of summer reads and like all of the summer thrillers and this and that. And this one caught my eye because it has the gorgeous ocean, the waves on the cover. So obviously I was intrigued by that. And one of the workers came up to me and told me this was a really good book. So this is what I'm reading. I barely started it yesterday. But so far so good. I like the way the writer has grabbed my attention from the first page. So we shall see if this one is any good. It kind of has like a little bit of romance in it. It has a little bit of thriller, mystery, murder, suspense, all of the above. So hopefully it's a good one. This next one is called Sphere by Michael Crichton. This is actually an older book. It's been around for quite a while. It's a sci-fi horror, I guess you could say, like a sci-fi horror. Pretty much like a spaceship under the ocean kind of a situation. One reason why I'm reading this is Barnes & Noble, the horror book club host, she was telling me that this was going to be one of the picks for the summer. So I figured let me get a head start and read it. But I also hear good things about it. It has pretty good reviews. So when it's aliens meets undersea horror, to me that just sounds really good. So The Sphere. Next I have Scuttler's Cove by David Barnett. This one is, I feel like it's a literary horror, but it has to do with crabs and a very weird seaside town, which is such a theme, such a vibe when it comes to, the kind of like horror books that I like to read. I just love spooky, eerie, ocean towns, seaside towns, little small towns, and this one just has all of that energy. So I hope it's atmospheric and I hope it gives me that feel that I'm looking for. So that one sounds really good too. Chlorine by Jade Song. So this one was recommended to me by the horror book club host. She said that this was also going to be on her pile for her own TBR. It does have to do with mermaids. It has to do with a swimmer, I believe, who starts to have some weird transformations happening. So pretty sure you could kind of figure out what's going on with her, but I hear it's good and I love the cover. Anything with a fishy mermaid tail, I love that. I don't know, I'm just so drawn to that kind of stuff. So hopefully this one sounds really good. I was almost going to start this one first, but I kind of wanted it more of a thriller first, so we shall see. But that's next on my list. Murder Land. I just picked up this book the other day. This is a young adult thriller. It is 4 teens, 1 theme park, 2 bodies and counting. So one of their friends goes missing, and there's like a killer on the loose. It kind of sounds like that whole thrill of going to the carnival late at night and you find out your friend was murdered. So some kind of slasher right there. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This one, the cover drew me in. It's a beautiful octopus. This is more of a fiction. I feel like it's going to be more of a sad love story. The woman's husband passed away, so she's a grieving wife, a grieving widow, and her relationship with the octopus, the octopus befriends her. And through the friendship with the octopus, there's some kind of connection that is made to understand the passing of, I believe it was her son and her husband or something like that. So there's a lot of grief in this book, a lot of love in this book, and also the empathy between the empathetic relationship between an animal for healing. So that is like a recipe for crying for me. I don't know if this is going to be a super sad story, but it sounds beautiful and I'll probably cry, so we shall see, but this one sounded really good. So that would be a nice read for when I need a break from horror, because every once in a while I do need a break from it. So that'll be something nice to read instead. Another slasher book. This is called Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. Picked this one up last year, didn't get to it. It's obviously a campfire. There is a slasher on the loose. Just like your typical slasher story. It has pretty good reviews. It sounds good. I love the cover. So hopefully I get to that one this year. And lastly on my pile, I have Clown in a Cornfield, The Church of Friendo. This is book 3. I didn't finish this one when I started it last year. And I do want to finish it because I love the series. I just didn't like the direction he was going with it towards the second book. So I'm hoping the third book will redeem itself, but I don't know. And then I was also tempted to reread the entire series, because sometimes when you read a book a second time or a third time, you catch stuff that you missed the first time you read it. So I don't know, I might wait on reading this one and reread the first 2 to get a better understanding of why I didn't care for book 2 so much. And maybe I'll have a different opinion. So this one's on the list, but I am tempted to reread the first 2 books. Oh, Ghostie. Let's talk a Ghostie real fast. My gosh, my battery. I could see my little battery life is slowly dwindling away. Let's talk Ghosties. I'll put footage here because I'm not gonna have time to go grab it to show you guys. But so I found one of those Byron ghost lamps. I don't know if I showed it in the last video. I might have showed it in the last video, but I'm going to put footage so you guys could see. Actually, I think I did show it. But the other day, so the funny thing is, I will show you this footage. So the other day I did a side-by-side comparison of my ghost lamps, because I was looking at one of them and I'm like, you look a lot smaller than the other one I have. I just was always in the mindset that my Byron ghost molds are all the same size. They're not. So I put them together like side by side, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that one of my ghost lamps is rather large compared to the other ones. So I did a little thing and I put it on my Instagram, but I just thought that that was kind of funny because I always assumed that they all came the same size. But I love it. So this little lamp is just, it has charmed my heart. It has become my most favorite ghost lamp. I keep it on my bookshelf. I redid my whole bookshelf. I'll put a picture you guys so you guys could see. I redid my whole bookshelf once the painting and stuff dried and we were able to kind of like move all of our stuff back into the room. Decided to kind of go more minimal with my bookshelf because before, the way I had too much shit. Like I had too much shit on that bookshelf. It was top heavy. I was afraid it was gonna fall. I had so many Dracula books piled on the top shelf and I just really don't want to do that this time around. I'm still playing with the bookshelf the way it looks because there are some books that I have that I kind of want to move around. So it's kind of like a little Tetris project. But I'm trying to keep it more minimal so it's not overwhelming because this bookshelf is in my bedroom and my husband shares the room with me. So I try to be mindful of my stuff that I have in the room. I don't want to overwhelm the space because it's also his space. I can overwhelm my office because my office is my space. This is my room. So I have all my shit in here. And you know, for the most part, it doesn't bother him unless he happens to like walk by. And my husband is just one of those people that's overwhelmed with stuff. He's more of a minimalist when it comes to his things and the way he likes to see stuff out. So my room is just, it drives him nuts. But for me, I'm more of an organized mess. I don't mind if I have a lot of stuff, just as long as I can keep it under control for the most part. So yeah, we have very different tastes and things like that. So because of that, I try to be mindful of how much stuff I'm bringing into the bedroom, and even also too, I like a more minimal bedroom. It keeps the stress away, if that makes sense. Like less clutter and you just feel more calm. I don't know. At least that's how I feel. So bookshelf is still a work in progress, but I really, really like the way that it's looking right now. Other than that, oh, Cracker Barrel, you guys, I should probably leave this for another video. You know what? I'm going to leave that for another video because I'm getting that package is actually going to arrive in a couple days. So I will have another video that'll come out because we're going to be talking our very first Halloween hunting video of 2025. Minus the ghost stuff that I've been showing you guys. So I'll wait on that and we'll do a little show and tell with that. That'll be fun. Okay, my loves, my battery is gonna die, so I need to charge this poor little camera. Thank you guys for tuning in and being here with me. I'm so sorry that my videos have been few and far between for those of you who do care and liked to tap in every once in a while. But here we are. Hopefully I'll be able to put out some more a little bit more frequently, especially as we creep closer and closer to Halloween showing up in stores. I feel like I have a little bit more stuff to talk about and share in videos. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you follow me on Instagram, I will see you on Instagram. Otherwise, if not, I will see you guys in my next video very, very soon. Take care. Love you guys, and we'll talk soon. Bye.